Imagine a world without sunlight, without morning, without shadows, without a sky, and only endless darkness. But surprisingly, there really are worlds like this that exist. They are hidden in the depths of the ocean, beneath ancient ice, and within the earth itself. And these places have never been reached by light, and if there is life, it has evolved in complete darkness. From mysterious caves where millions of years separate them from the outside world, to the darkest parts of the ocean and the frozen lakes buried beneath Antarctica, these hidden worlds are some of the strangest and most alien landscapes on our planet. But before we start, if you're new to our channel, please don't forget to subscribe so you'll always be updated with videos like this. Mariana Trench, channel Ailing Drag Deep. Beneath the waves of the Pacific Ocean lies the Mariana Trench, a massive crack on the Earth's surface that stretches about 2,500 kilometers long. At its deepest part, the Challenger Deep, the seafloor plunges to almost 11 kilometers below sea level. It is so deep that if Mount Everest were placed inside, its peak would still be about 2 kilometers underwater. Not a single ray of sunlight reaches this depth, and the world down there is made up of complete darkness, almost freezing cold, and unimaginable pressure. About 1,000 times stronger than the pressure at the surface, enough to crush almost anything that can't withstand it. But despite these extreme conditions, life still found a way. Explorers discovered transparent snailfish, amphipods that resemble shrimp, and even giant single-celled organisms called xenophyophories. Many of these creatures rely on bioluminescence, the ability to create a hair-raising blue and green light that cuts through the darkness, like stars in an alien night sky. Scientists have long been fascinated by these deep trenches, and their depth was first measured in 1875 by the British ship HMS Challenger, which is where the name Challenger Deep comes from. In 1960, Jackie Spickard and Don Walsh were the first to descend into the depths in the Battlescape 3S, and more than 50 years later, filmmaker James Cameron made a solo dive using the deep-sea Challenger submersible. Even today, only a few missions have reached its bottom, so a vast part of the trench remains unexplored. The discoveries so far are both astonishing and alarming. There are microbes that survive even without sunlight, strange and mysterious creatures, and even traces of plastic pollution. And all of these have been found at the very bottom of the world. For many scientists, the Mariana Trench is not just a window into the most extreme environments on Earth, but possibly a key to understanding how life might survive in the hidden oceans of distant moons like Europa and Enceladus. In Challenger Deep, it is not light that guides life. Instead, it is replaced by extreme pressure, chemical processes, and the faint light that is emitted. These organisms have adapted to survive in perpetual darkness. Movile Cave, Romania. Deep beneath the plains of southern Romania lies Movile Cave, a subterranean labyrinth that has been completely isolated from the outside world for about 5.5 million years. It was accidentally discovered in 1986 during routine geological work, and what scientists found inside was unlike anything on the surface. Sunlight has never entered here, so the cave is shrouded in permanent darkness. The air here is filled with carbon dioxide, methane, and hydrogen sulfide, while the oxygen level is only 1/3 of normal. Conditions that are deadly for most humans and animals. Still, life managed to emerge and thrive in this unusual environment. The cave ecosystem does not rely on the sun, but on chemosynthesis, where bacteria obtain energy from chemical reactions involving sulfur and methane. The bacteria serve as the foundation of the food chain that supports unique species of arthropods. These include blind spiders, tiny centipedes, and isopods, many of which cannot be found anywhere else in the world. Because of the complete darkness, these creatures gradually lost their eyesight over millions of years and now rely on their antennae and chemical sensing to move and hunt. The Movile Cave is still a living laboratory for understanding evolution in complete isolation. The constant temperature, high humidity, and chemically rich environment allow species to evolve separately, forming an ecosystem that provides valuable insight into how life might survive on other planets or moons, even without sunlight. In every corner of this cave, there is a story of resilience, adaptation, and survival in a world that has never been touched by light and has never experienced the presence of humans. Lake Baikal depths, Russia. Located in southern Siberia, Lake Baikal is not only the deepest freshwater lake in the world, reaching a depth of almost 1,642 meters, but also one of the oldest, estimated to be around 25 million years old. At depths beyond 1,000 meters, sunlight can no longer penetrate, so the lower part of the lake is shrouded in eternal darkness. Here, the water is extremely cold, rich in oxygen, and isolated from the outside world, creating a unique and mysterious underwater world. Life has truly adapted in extraordinary ways to this completely dark environment. The lake is home to strange and almost otherworldly creatures, such as the translucent oilfish, which is nearly invisible because of its clear body, and the Baikal sea seal, or Nerpa, which lives in the deep parts of the lake. There are also tiny crustaceans, endemic sponges, and even mysterious worms that roam the lake floor, forming an ecosystem that has evolved separately for millions of years. Lake Baikal continues to fascinate scientists because its depths offer a glimpse into a hidden freshwater world where ancient species continue to survive almost unchanged. The vastness, depth, and age of the lake make it a natural laboratory for studying evolution, ecology, and even climate change. In the silent, dark waters at the very bottom, life has persisted. A reminder of how much of our planet we have yet to fully understand. Lake Bostock, Antarctica. Beneath the vast ice sheet covering Antarctica lies subglacial lakes, bodies of water hidden beneath more than 4 kilometers of ice, including the legendary Lake Bostock, one of the largest among them. These waters have never been touched by sunlight, separated from the surface of the world for millions of years, creating a world of complete darkness, extreme pressure, and intense cold that is just barely above freezing. Despite these extremely harsh conditions, it is still possible that there is life in these lakes. Scientists have found traces of unique microbial life that can survive without sunlight, using chemical energy from minerals and gases trapped in the ice. These microbes may provide important clues about how life survives in the most extreme environments on Earth, and possibly even on other planets or moons like Europa or Enceladus, where oceans are hidden beneath thick ice. Because of their extreme isolation, these lakes have served as natural time capsules. The sediments on their floors preserve information about Antarctica's climate over millions of years, shedding light on the geological and environmental history of our planet. Lake Bostock and its sibling lakes are not only extreme environments, but also some of the most mysterious and unexplored habitats in the world. It is known that even beneath the ice, life can persist in the darkest and most remote corners of the Earth. Sangdong Cave, Vietnam. Hidden within the lush forest of Phong Nha Bang National Park in Vietnam is Sangdong Cave, the largest cave known in the world. In some parts of it, the ceiling has collapsed, allowing rays of sunlight to pass through and illuminate the vast chambers of the cave. However, despite this, there are large sections underground that remain completely shrouded in darkness. These underground chambers are so vast that they can contain an entire city block, complete with rivers, small forests, and towering stalagmites rising from the cave floor like tall buildings. The ecosystem inside is just as impressive as its size. In the areas reached by light, lush plants and trees grow, while in the darker parts, bats, swiftlets, and other unique creatures adapted to cave life thrive. Rivers shaped by ancient times continue to flow underground. Over thousands of years, they have slowly carved the limestone walls. According to the travelers themselves, journeying into the cave is like entering a foreign world where the silence is broken only by the drip of water and the distant fluttering of wings. This cave is truly more than just a natural wonder. It is a hidden world of light and darkness. It's a reminder that even on a planet we think we have fully explored, there are still vast places that remain untouched and full of mystery, waiting for those brave enough to uncover their secrets. Baikal, Georgia. In the rugged mountains of the Republic of Georgia lies Kubera Cave, also known as Baikal, the deepest cave ever explored in the world. It reaches more than 2,000 meters down underground, where winding passages and steep, dead-end rock corridors form a subterranean labyrinth that sunlight has never reached. At such depths, explorers rely entirely on artificial light. Their headlamps and lanterns emit flickering light that casts long shadows on the walls shaped by flowing water over millions of years. This is a world of extreme conditions where, as you go deeper, the temperature drops and the air becomes thinner and more humid. And the stalactites, stalagmites, and underground waterfalls appear like otherworldly structures in the midst of the darkness. Despite the darkness, life still persists. There are blind insects, spiders, and colonies of microbes that can survive even without light and nutrients from the surface of the mountain. Every journey into Kubera Cave is a journey into a world that only a few have seen. It reminds me just how vast and deep the hidden dark places on our planet are. At the catacombs of Paris, France. Beneath the busy streets of Paris lies a world full of shadows and silence. The catacombs of Paris is a vast labyrinth of tunnels stretching for hundreds of kilometers. Within these underground corridors lie the remains of around 6 million people carefully arranged in eerie shapes, a grim testament to centuries of history. Far from the light of the streets above, the tunnels are plunged into complete darkness, broken only by the flicker of lanterns carried by visitors and explorers. The catacombs were originally quarries, but in the late 18th century they were used as the final resting place for remains from the crowded and overflowing cemeteries of Paris. Today, walking through these tunnels feels like stepping into another era, a place where the weight of history is felt and every sound seems to tell a story from the past. Cold, quiet, and mysterious, the catacombs are a powerful reminder of death and the passage of time, an underground world where light cannot reach and the past remains preserved forever. Black Sea Oceanic Zone. Beneath the waves of the Black Sea, a dark world begins to emerge at a depth of around 200 meters down, where sunlight no longer penetrates and oxygen has almost completely disappeared. This mysterious layer is known as the Anoxic Zone, a completely black kingdom beneath the sea, unlike any other part of the ocean, where almost no complex forms of life can survive. The ecosystem here is dominated by special bacteria that process sulfur and other chemicals, forming the foundation of a unique and almost ghostly food chain. The water in this part is calm, yet the absence of life is eerily unsettling. This is a layer of the ocean where organic matter from above slowly decays, creating a chemical soup that only the toughest microbes can endure. Scientists study this zone not only to understand the most extreme habitats on Earth, but also as a model for alien oceans where life might exist under intense pressure, even without light or oxygen. In the deepest parts of the Black Sea, true darkness reigns, a hidden world that reminds us how little we really know about our own planet. In venturing out to sea, there's fear. Scattered across the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico and hidden beneath the Amazon basin are cenotes and sinkholes, mysterious pits filled with clear water that plunge into endless darkness. Some are small circles, while others open up into vast underground chambers that sunlight has never reached. For the ancient Maya, these natural wonders were sacred and believed to be gateways to the underworld. places where the souls of the dead could travel between worlds. Aside from their spiritual significance, the cenotes are also part of a hidden ecosystem. The clear pools inside are home to fish, amphibians, and unique cave creatures that have adapted to life in complete darkness. The walls and ceilings of these natural wells are often covered with stalactites and stalagmites, shaped by flowing water over thousands of years. Exploring the cenotes is like entering another world, a vertical passage into a secret realm where light is absent, silence prevails, and the boundary between legend and reality becomes blurred. Imponing Gold Mine, South Africa. Beneath the gentle hills of South Africa lies Imponing, the deepest man-made tunnel in the world, plunging more than 4 kilometers below the Earth's surface. At this depth, sunlight completely disappears, and the miners rely entirely on artificial light to move through the labyrinthine tunnels. The air here is hot and dry, with temperatures reaching over 60 degrees Celsius. The oppressive silence is only broken by the distant hum of machines or the echo of footsteps on the rocks. Life at Imponing is a constant struggle against the extreme conditions of nature. The miners face intense pressure, scorching heat, and the constant threat of earthquakes. That's why every descent into the dark tunnels is a journey into a world that only a few have personally experienced. The great depth of the mine shows just how vast and dangerous the world becomes once you leave the surface of the earth. It's a man-made abyss where darkness reigns and light exists only where we bring it. Beach Lake, Trinidad. Located on the island of Trinidad, Peach Lake is the largest natural deposit of asphalt in the world, covering about 100 acres. On the surface, the lake appears like a vast black and shiny plain that barely reflects light and has an almost otherworldly appearance. But its true mystery lies beneath the surface. Under the asphalt, there are hidden chambers and passages completely isolated from sunlight, where secrets are formed. Hidden pockets where the temperature constantly changes and gases like methane and carbon dioxide accumulate. Even though only a few of these underground chambers have been explored, scientists believe they could be home to microbial life capable of surviving in extreme conditions without light, using hydrocarbons and minerals and asphalt as sources of energy. The lake is a natural laboratory that shows how life and chemical processes can persist in perpetual darkness, even in an environment that is almost uninhabitable, like liquid asphalt. Walking on its surface feels like standing on an alien landscape. But the hidden depths remind us that beneath even familiar territory, the Earth conceals entire worlds shrouded in darkness. Great Blue Hole, Belize. On the coast of Belize, you'll find the Great Blue Hole, a unique circular sinkhole that's over 120 meters deep and more than 300 meters wide. From above, it looks like a perfectly round, deep blue abyss surrounded by lighter turquoise waters. But when you go down below, you'll discover a world that's completely dark. Sunlight only penetrates a few meters at the surface, while most of the hole is submerged in shadow, leading divers into an alien underwater realm. Inside, you'll see stalactites, stalagmites, and ancient limestone formations that tell the story of a time when the cave was above the sea, millions of years ago before it was submerged by rising waters. The darkness here is so intense that travelers completely rely on artificial light to move around, revealing strange marine species that have adapted to the low light. The Great Blue Hole is not just a geological wonder. It is also a window into the Earth's dark past, where light has never reached and the mysteries of evolution and geology remain hidden in the shadows.